You're a summoner? That's the weakest class in the world. The moment Lin Xiao awakened his class, everyone laughed at him. His rival called him trash. No team wanted him. No one believed he could clear a dungeon. Even a normal combat class was considered better than becoming a summoner. But they had no idea. Lin Xiao had awakened a unique S-tier talent. A talent so powerful that nobody else in the world could ever obtain it. Every single day, he gains a brand new S-rank talent. His first summon was just a tiny skeleton. Weak, pathetic, worthless. But after receiving an S-rank talent, it evolved into a terrifying Death Knight. A monster capable of slaughtering entire armies. Then his slime gained the power of endless evolution through devouring. His goblin became a master of legendary weapons. And that was only the beginning. While other people struggled to make one summon stronger, Lin Xiao gave countless S-rank talents to all of his summons. Every day they evolved. Every day they grew stronger. Every day they became more terrifying. Geniuses, prodigies, heroes, none of them could even defeat his weakest summon. Then the abyss descended upon the world. Demon gods appeared. Ancient monsters awakened. Even the gods themselves looked down upon humanity. But when humanity stood on the edge of extinction, one man stepped forward. Behind him stood an army powerful enough to shake heaven and earth. An army of death knights, ancient beasts, divine creatures, and beings powerful enough to rival gods. The world finally realized one terrifying truth. The strongest army was never an army. The strongest kingdom was never a kingdom. It was one summoner, and his summons. This is the story of Lin Xiao, the summoner who turned the weakest class into the strongest existence in the world. Week 1 8-hour video will be uploaded. All novels uploaded here are completed, so you will get a full story without searching or waiting. I have listened to the translated version on web, and there are no major problems with translation. If you want Chinese novel translated, give me the original name of the novel and I will respond to your request as soon as possible. Please make sure your request is on the latest video. If you hear this "u" sound in the novel, it means either question mark or some space is left, like getting materials or experience gain there more but not shown. If after a name is used and after there is silence, it means exclamation marks were used as in shock. I don't know if this will happen in recorded one, but it happened in web version. Chapter 136. The war demon crashed through several buildings like a cannonball. Lin Xiao looked into the distance and couldn't help but sigh. How much hatred and resentment is this? I just stopped you from catching me and gave you a curse. Do you really need to use so much force? In the end, you just hurt yourself, didn't you? You're at a disadvantage. Damage reflection was the skill of the evil dragon equipment, evil dragon's reverse scale. So when Lin Xiao saw the war demon attack, he neither dodged nor flinched. Jiang Ningxue, who was beside him, was quite shocked. She looked at the collapsed buildings in the distance, then at Lin Xiao, unable to understand how he did it. She hadn't even seen him make a move, yet the war demon flew out and it seemed he was injured. Their few teams could only be crushed when encountering the war demon, let alone injure him. Lin Xiao, when did you become so powerful? This is a level 50 abyss boss. You injured him. Jiang Ningxue couldn't help but ask. She was truly too shocked. It hadn't been long since the Southern Stream Valley dungeon. Had it? He was at most level 30, so how could he possess such power? Seeing the shocked expression on Jiang Ningxue's face, Lin Xiao smiled. It's the equipment's damage reflection effect. The war demon was injured by his own strength. So that's how it was. But that's not right either. How could damage reflection deal such high damage, even higher than the attacker himself? Just as Jiang Ningxue was about to ask why, Lin Xiao interrupted. Ningxue, you should hide far away later and pay attention to your safety. Jiang Ningxue was startled when she heard this and immediately understood Lin Xiao's meaning. She quickly said, "You're going to fight the war demon? That's a level 50 abyss boss." Level 50. They were only in their 20s now. The gap was like heaven and earth, making it impossible to contend with him. What's more, The one in front of them was an abyss boss, even stronger than a regular boss. You're not thinking of using the equipment effect to reflect his damage until he dies, are you? Does the effect have no cooldown? Jiang Ningxue asked, reflecting him to death. You have a vivid imagination. Lin Xiao shook his head. Of course not. I have an idea I want to try. It's not too late to run if I really can't beat him. Besides wanting to test his hypothesis about the gambler talent, more importantly, he felt that someone with the God of Destiny's personality was definitely watching him from somewhere with a secret item. He had been hiding well, but at this moment, the coin of destiny suddenly went crazy, reporting his location to the war demon. And it kept reporting his location. How could he hide from that? So he was left with two choices. One was to rush to the front line and let the big shots there kill the war demon. This required him to outrun the war demon and actually find those big shots. The other was to kill the war demon himself. The chances were slim but not non-existent. So, after much thought, Lin Xiao chose the second, more adventurous method. Run if you can't beat him. It'll be too late by then. Jiang Ningxue was quite speechless. However, seeing that Lin Xiao intended to stay, she didn't try to dissuade him further and decided to stay as well. You must have a way to deal with him. I'll assist you. Speaking of which, we haven't really gone to many dungeons together. You said I'd become a healer and we'd go to dungeons together. Jiang Ningxue looked at Lin Xiao reproachfully. The number of times they had gone to dungeons together could be counted on two hands. Lin Xiao chuckled and came up with a very lame excuse. I was afraid I'd steal your experience if we went to dungeons together. So, excuse. Jiang Ningxue clearly didn't believe Lin Xiao's nonsense. Alright, actually, I was afraid you'd steal my experience. You know summoners are very dependent on level. After speaking, Lin Xiao blinked at Jiang Ningxue, finding that she didn't seem angry. You're right, summoner is indeed a special class. I'll let the matter of not going to dungeons together slide. Huh? That works? Boom! A massive cloud of dust rose in the distance, obscuring the sky like a sandstorm. The war demon, who had been sent flying an unknown distance, finally stopped. Lucky spirit, roll the dice. Lin Xiao quickly shouted. The lucky spirit didn't comply, but instead said, Master, I only have one roll left. Lin Xiao was startled. Only one left? This thing has charges. The lucky spirit immediately complained. It's still Master's fault. You stuffed so many things into one dice face. The faces are all full. You should consider my burden, all right? Lin Xiao scratched his head awkwardly. He had seen the lucky spirit's dice used freely before and thought the consumption wasn't significant, so he hadn't paid attention to this aspect. It was probably because the dice face effects previously programmed by the lucky spirit were ordinary, so the consumption wasn't very high, and it naturally wasn't noticeable. But this time was slightly different. Whoosh! A whooshing sound rang out, and Lin Xiao's pupils contracted as he saw a story of a building smashing towards him. Disperse! Ningxue, hide yourself! Lin Xiao immediately activated the ability of his evil dragon reverse scale boots, performing a slide to dodge the attack. This attack was clearly aimed at him, so the impact on Jiang Ningxue and the others was minimal. Human, you can die now. The war demon burst out from the dust and rubble, his terrifying fist slamming towards Lin Xiao. If he were hit, it wouldn't be as simple as being turned into meat paste. The fist was fast, and the wind from it whipped painfully across Lin Xiao's face. Dodging was almost impossible because it was too big. The fist was too big, and he didn't have the ability to teleport. Roar, roar, roar. The nine-tailed demon fox swiftly unleashed 27 fox fires, attempting to stop him, but the effect could only be described as a drop in the bucket. Not even a trace of a burn was seen. Bang! Lin Xiao was sent flying, but he didn't suffer a single scratch. Imperial Command Badge could block one instance of damage. After taking another punch, this human he could turn into meat paste with one punch, actually took another punch from him. Human, I want to see what other tricks you have. With a stomp of his large foot, a deep crack split the ground, extending all the way to Lin Xiao's location. Rising rocks from the ground tossed him into the air. In the sky, I don't believe you still have the ability to dodge. The war demon suddenly swung his fist towards the sky. But just then, the sun in the sky suddenly flashed, emitting a dazzling light that made it difficult for the war demon to open his eyes. The nine-tailed demon fox quickly appeared. At this moment, she had a sacred radiance about her, looking very mysterious. Lin Xiao knew this was the nine-tailed demon fox's talent, attribute conversion. At this moment, she was still a light fox. After catching Lin Xiao, the nine-tailed demon fox quickly descended and asked, "Master, are you all right? I'm fine." At this moment, a green glow covered the nine-tailed demon fox, and Lin Xiao's body trembled. This is the healer's buff. The effect is really good. All attributes actually increased by 80%. Almost doubled. This healing, it felt great. By the way, Ning Xiao, do you have any abilities that increase luck or make people luckier? Lin Xiao suddenly asked. Luck? Making people luckier? Jiang Ningxue shook her head. No. The war demon recovered from his brief blindness and the overflowing rage. Even though Lin Xiao was far away, he could clearly feel it. Without another word, his entire body slammed forward like a cannonball. Just then, a die gently fell. For points. Chapter 137. Lin Xiao rolled his eyes upon seeing the number on the dice. Although she was called the lucky spirit, her luck didn't seem very good. But it could still be used as long as talent gambler triggered. Reverse side. Enemy damage dealt reduced by 80%. Your damage dealt is 1. Fine, it seems hoping for the lucky spirit to roll the front side is too difficult. Boom! The war demon's attack struck. Lin Xiao had no time to dodge and took the punch head-on, his body slamming heavily into the distance. At this moment, the war demon noticed something was wrong with his attack. Its power seemed to have been greatly weakened. What did you do to me? Another curse. His gaze sharpened as he spotted Lin Xiao deep within the ruins. Giving him no chance, he stomped his legs, leaped high into the air, and brought his massive foot down. Boom! The ground quickly cracked, forming a massive crater. Lin Xiao had already used the skill of the evil dragon inverted scale war boots to evade the blow. Although the war demon's damage was reduced by 80%, the punch he landed still knocked a fifth off Lin Xiao's shield. The damage was still very high. Whoosh! Foxfire struck the war demon, and pitifully low damage numbers floated above his head. -1, -1, -1. The war demon was stunned, then burst into maniacal laughter. He glared fiercely at the mouse-like Lin Xiao and mocked. What happened? Where's your damage? Why is it even weaker than before? But the next second, his expression froze. You have gained a curse, petrification syndrome. You have gained a curse, dehydration curse. You have gained a curse, 5 heavenly decays. You? In one breath, the war demon received 27 curses. He was astonished. He didn't know how Lin Xiao managed to inflict 27 curses on him instantly. Lin Xiao hadn't attacked him directly. The fox had. Did this fox have the ability to inflict curses on people? He was level 50. How could a fox that hadn't even reached level 40 inflict curses on him? Just as the notification for the 27 curses finished, another prompt sounded. You have gained a curse, death countdown. The war demon's pupils contracted. Another extremely overbearing curse. Cannot be dispelled. Automatically removed when the number of curses on self is less than 0. The war demon immediately understood. This human wanted to use this curse to kill him. This curse would kill him in 1 day. While the war demon was astonished, a prompt about gaining a curse also sounded on Lin Xiao's side. You have gained a curse, delusion syndrome. This was the effect of the scepter of curse. When the lucky spirit rolled a 4, he thought of using this method to kill the war demon. It was a bit slow, but that's what happens when the lucky spirit isn't reliable. If she had rolled a 6, it would have been much simpler. Scepter of curse. Effect 1. When carried, randomly gain 1 curse, and gain another curse every hour thereafter, lasting for 12 hours. Effect 2. Every time an attack is initiated, the enemy randomly gains 1 curse. When 10 curses have been accumulated, Reaper's Countdown is triggered. This scepter is normally kept inside the Goblin King's treasury. Only the King's treasury talent can prevent the Scepter of Curses effects from activating. If he kept it on himself, even if it was in his inventory space, the Scepter of Curses effects would still take hold. But he had to admit, the equipment dropped by the Abyssal Demon Cursefrost was certainly powerful. Human, you are truly naive if you think you can kill me with these wretched curses. The war demon raised his fighting spirit, forcibly wiping away 15 curses from his body. Holy crap! Why are there 2 war demons? Lin Xiao looked in the war demon's direction. So startled his heart nearly leaped out. But he quickly realized it was due to the curse he had received. Ningxue, evolve. After Lin Xiao shouted, he yelled at the war demon. Is that so? Then I'll have to see whether you kill me first, or I curse you to death first. The 9-tailed demon fox attacked again. Although it couldn't inflict damage, it could apply curses to the opponent. That was enough. Receiving another 27 curses, the war demon's face turned green. He now carried 40 curses on him. If it weren't for the opponent's low level and his own strong constitution, these 40 curses would have reduced his combat power by half. The war demon attacked while simultaneously dispelling the curses on himself. But this time, his target wasn't Lin Xiao, but the 9-tailed demon fox. He now understood that he received a curse whenever he was attacked, and currently, the only one who could attack him was the 9-tailed demon fox. So, if he killed her, there would be no threat left. Seeing the war demon switch targets to the demon fox, Lin Xiao couldn't help but frown. He muttered inwardly. Shouldn't a madman who loves war only know how to charge into battle, shouting and killing? Why did he suddenly gain a brain? Indeed, just as the war demon thought, the only means Lin Xiao had to attack him was through the 9-tailed demon fox. As for the slime, every move was a forbidden curse, but the forbidden curse only dealt 1 damage and consumed mana. Furthermore, the curses it inflicted couldn't be applied faster than the enemy dispelled them. It wasn't worth it at all. The 9-tailed demon fox dodged quickly, but the war demon was fast and caught up instantly. A few punches later, her HP bottomed out. If it weren't for the weakening effect of the gambler talent and the curses on the war demon, the 9-tailed demon fox would have been instantly killed by a single punch. Buzz. At this moment, a chain of healing instantly linked Lin Xiao and his companions, and the critically wounded 9-tailed demon fox's HP instantly returned to full. Such powerful healing ability? Lin Xiao was shocked. The green glow originally covering the 9-tailed demon fox became deeper. At this moment, Lin Xiao noticed an extra status effect on the 9-tailed demon fox. Status: Dewdrop Adhesion. Lin Xiao, my talent Dewdrop can help your 9-tailed demon fox fight. As soon as Jiang Ningxue finished speaking, Lin Xiao saw the 9-tailed demon fox launch an attack. -1. -3,458. -3,457. -3,486. Damage could now be inflicted, but it wasn't the damage caused by the 9-tailed demon fox herself, but the damage caused by the talent Dewdrop. A very interesting talent, but it's still lacking a bit, Lin Xiao murmured. The war demon was terrifyingly strong. The small amount of damage caused by Dewdrop wasn't even enough to offset his regeneration. But Lin Xiao quickly noticed that the 9-tailed demon fox with Dewdrop Adhesion could automatically regenerate HP after attacking, and the damage caused by Dewdrop was also increasing. The war demon fought the 9-tailed demon fox for several rounds, and the angrier he got, the more furious he became. The fox in front of him clearly wasn't strong, yet he just couldn't kill her. Moreover, he found that his attacks seemed to be getting weaker and weaker. It appeared to be due to the curses, but his intuition told him otherwise. Chapter 138. The war demon was furious. He had never felt so frustrated before. His power had been inexplicably stolen, and he was burdened with over 100 curses. Even more absurdly, a fox under level 30 was actually flaunting its power in front of him. No matter how he attacked, he couldn't kill it. After exchanging blows a few more times, The war demon had no choice but to give up on his current target and set his sights on the only healer present. As long as he killed her, that stinking fox wouldn't be able to receive healing and recovery, and he would be able to finish her off sooner or later. Seeing the war demon lock onto Jiang Ningxue, Lin Xiao was not surprised. It was even within his expectations. Just as the war demon launched an attack on Jiang Ningxue, the nine-tailed demon fox stepped on a spiritual breeze to block his path, then cast a seductive glance at him. The war demon's mind was shaken, and his pupils dilated for a moment. The support of multiple curses had significantly lowered his resistance, making him unable to resist the charm of the nine-tailed demon fox. And it was a nine-fold charm. The charm only lasted for 1 second. While that might seem like a very short time, the massive level gap between them made this 1 second quite long. When the war demon recovered, he discovered that the healer he had locked onto had vanished, having hidden somewhere. Even worse, he had acquired over 40 more curses, bringing the total to over 200. Even Lin Xiao had to admire the war demon's ability to endure. With over 200 curses, he was still standing firm as if nothing had happened. However, despite the war demon acquiring so many curses, he still hadn't seen Death's favor. Could this curse be exclusive to the evil dragon? Or perhaps this curse is too high level for the Scepter of Curse to obtain. That was a possibility. Even Curse Frost, known for its curses, had no way to cast such a curse, which was enough to prove the power of this curse and the power of the evil dragon. Roar! The war demon let out a roar of unwillingness. Frustrated. So frustrated. Looking at the annoying fox in front of him, he launched a fierce attack, pouring his anger out upon her. But the nine-tailed demon fox, having transformed into the wind attribute, was extremely agile. She dodged the opponent's attack with a light leap, and while dodging, she didn't forget to sweep her foxtail in front of him, rewarding him with a few shots of fox fire. Toying with him. At this moment, Lin Xiao felt that the effect of the dice face was about to end. Once the effect of the weakness dice face ended, the war demon's lost power would be restored, and by that time, if there's a talent that increases luck, I should definitely get one for the lucky spirit. Lin Xiao muttered. Boom! Suddenly, the war demon's fist slammed into the ground, kicking up rolling dust. The nine-tailed demon fox immediately became vigilant, preventing a sudden sneak attack from the opponent, but after waiting for a moment, she did not encounter any attacks. As the dust settled, she discovered that the war demon had already fled a very long distance away. Seeing the war demon flee, the nine-tailed demon fox was also very surprised. She looked back at her master, asking if she should pursue. Lin Xiao felt both surprised and unsurprised by the war demon's escape. After all, he couldn't do anything about him, but he just hadn't expected him to be so decisive. No need to pursue. The effect of the dice face is about to end. Let's take this opportunity to leave. Once the dice face effect ended, and without the lucky spirit having rolled the dice to gain a powerful buff, it would be extremely difficult to kill a level 50 abyss boss. Therefore, the war demon's escape gave him a great opportunity to get away. The nine-tailed demon fox nodded, took her master and Jiang Ningxue, and quickly left the area. An unprecedented humiliation. The war demon never imagined that there would come a day when he would flee instead of dying in battle. And he was forced to flee by a level 30 professional. Frustrated, with his full fury having nowhere to be released, he could only vent it on these buildings. He grabbed a handful of small snacks and tossed them into his mouth, constantly warning himself in his heart to first complete the mission assigned by the Lord. The mission assigned by the Lord was more important. Suddenly, the war demon stopped, a hint of shock appearing on his face. That feeling of discomfort had disappeared, and his power seemed to have returned. In his excitement, he looked back sharply, preparing to return and wipe away his shame. But he discovered that those humans were quickly leaving. Roar! The war demon let out a furious roar. He finally understood everything at this moment. He had been played. The humans in front of him had used some method to take away his power, but now the time was up, and his power had returned to him. If he had just persisted a little longer, perhaps he wouldn't have needed to flee so pathetically. I want you dead. No one has ever dared to humiliate me like this. The war demon roared, turned back again, and pursued Lin Xiao, his speed reaching a terrifying level. Kill them. This time, he must kill them. If he didn't kill them, how would he be able to survive in the abyss in the future? He, a dignified level 50 abyss boss, couldn't kill a level 30 human. This was simply a supreme humiliation. A supreme humiliation. Lin Xiao, the war demon, he's chasing after us. Jiang Ningxue felt the pressure behind her, looked back, and discovered that the war demon was approaching at extreme speed. In the blink of an eye, he had closed a large distance. Roar! Evil dragon roar! Lin Xiao released his equipment skill without hesitation. The force stun forcibly interrupted the war demon's charge, but it was only for a short moment, and he quickly caught up again. Even angrier than before. Lin Xiao, he's here, he's here. Jiang Ningxue grabbed his clothes and shouted in terror. Lin Xiao sighed. No choice, I have to call for backup. Call for backup? Jiang Ningxue was stunned. At this time, someone could still come to help them? Who would have the time to help them? Just as Jiang Ningxue was confused, the surrounding temperature plummeted, and the snow girl doll suddenly appeared. Summon follow. Lin Xiao directly called over the snow girl doll, who was currently cleaning up abyss monsters. It's the snow girl doll, Jiang Ningxue exclaimed. At this moment, she suddenly remembered that this snow girl doll was Lin Xiao's summoned beast. That's right. Where were his other summoned beasts? At this moment, Jiang Ningxue finally realized. From the start of the battle until now, she hadn't seen any of Lin Xiao's other summoned beasts, such as the snow girl doll that had just appeared, or his incredibly powerful Death Knight. Freeze! A crisp voice rang out, and a layer of frost covered the charging war demon. He had intended to resist this freezing ability, but the next second, various skills slammed into him. With the support of her talent, the snow girl doll could freely release any skill without needing any incantation. Ice tornado, ice crystal, hell ice storm. Soon, a huge ice sculpture stood upon the ruins. Because of the curses, the war demon's resistance had dropped significantly. Otherwise, it would be hard to say whether the snow girl doll's set of skills would have been able to freeze him. Chapter 139. The cold made Jiang Ningxue shiver slightly. She looked at the huge ice pillar not far away and couldn't help but ask, can this really freeze him? The war demon's resistance seems quite high. The reason she thought this was because when they first escaped, Lin Xiao's attempts to stop the war demon could at most delay him for 1 second. So her worry was normal. Moreover, she saw many cracks appearing on the ice, indicating that the war demon was struggling, trying to break free. Lin Xiao smiled slightly, took out a coat, and draped it over her to prevent her from catching a cold, then explained, don't worry, as long as the doll keeps applying the freeze, he won't be able to get out. The rest can be handled by the curse. Killing the war demon using a curse was the safest method. It just took a bit longer. If they wanted to speed it up, they could wait for the lucky spirit to recover and then have it roll the dice, which would also accelerate the process. Let's first search for any survivors nearby, Lin Xiao said. They still needed to stay here for a while. Okay. Seeing Lin Xiao's confidence, Jiang Ningxue no longer worried. She activated her eye of supervision to search for survivors here, but the place was already ravaged, making it very difficult to find anyone alive. Oh, there really is someone alive here. An hour later, through his eye of supervision, Lin Xiao saw a survivor under the ruins. It was a middle-aged man. Boom! Lin Xiao pushed aside the debris and rubble, rescuing him. Damn it! I'm finally saved. I thought I'd be buried here for the rest of my life. Young man, thank you so much this time. Seeing that he was rescued, the middle-aged man excitedly clasped Lin Xiao's hand in gratitude. Lin Xiao glanced at him and said, Are you a professional, a guardian class? Yes, that's right. Young man, you have sharp eyes. The middle-aged man nodded repeatedly. After a brief moment of excitement, a bitter smile appeared on his face. We were a team that voluntarily formed to fight against the abyss. 2 or 3 days ago, 2 or 3 days, I only remember the approximate time. Our team encountered the war demon and wanted to stop him from entering, but the war demon's strength was too great, exceeding our expectations. The team was quickly massacred. The middle-aged man sneered, mocking himself. Can you imagine our level 50 team couldn't last half an hour against the war demon? Fortunately, I'm a guardian class and was lucky enough to survive. Otherwise, I would have reunited with my teammates on the road to the underworld. Jiang Ningxue blinked, pointed at the large ice block not far away, and said, "You don't have to worry now, he's frozen." Frozen? The middle-aged man was stunned. He looked in the direction Jiang Ningxue pointed, and when he saw the face inside the ice, his face instantly turned pale.
Devour demon.
His face was filled with terror, and his body instinctively recoiled. He stumbled over a protruding stone, falling to the ground. Seeing his terrified expression, Lin Xiao explained, "You don't need to worry now. He'll be dead in a while." Dead? The middle-aged man quickly stood up, glanced at the large ice block in the distance, then looked at the two young people in front of him, asking uncertainly, "Did you kill the war demon?" It was a bit troublesome to deal with. It took a lot of effort. Lin Xiao's words struck the middle-aged man like a thunderclap. "You really killed the war demon? You have undergone class awakening?" He felt it was a bit absurd. After all, Lin Xiao was too young, and he didn't believe Lin Xiao had already undergone class awakening. But that was the only possibility he could think of. Otherwise, how could he have the strength to kill the war demon in front of him? And there were two of them. Lin Xiao shook his head. Still far from it. As long as the curse wasn't removed, he couldn't complete his class awakening. It wasn't that he couldn't complete it. If he did, he'd probably be dead. Far from it? You haven't undergone class awakening, yet you can kill the war demon. The middle-aged man found it incredible. Lin Xiao just smiled, offering no further explanation. After Jiang Ningxue gave him some simple treatment, they continued searching for survivors nearby. After 5 or 6 hours of searching, they only found 7 or 8 people. Some had already lost their vital signs when found. There aren't many people left in this vicinity. Take these few people back to the stadium. At your speed, you should be able to catch up with their evacuation. Lin Xiao said to the middle-aged man. He was a guardian class, so protecting these 7 or 8 people shouldn't be a problem. The middle-aged man frowned, glanced at the 7 or 8 people, old, weak, women and disabled among them, and couldn't help but say, "This is a bit difficult. If we encounter abyss monsters along the way, I, a guardian class, cannot guarantee their safety." Unfortunately, no warriors or mages were found during the search. If there had been one, cooperating with him to protect these 7 or 8 people would have been no problem. But the problem now was that there weren't any. Lin Xiao, it's okay. Try to avoid abyss monsters, but there shouldn't be too many of them. Most have been killed by my summoned beast, so the journey should be relatively safe. The middle-aged man was stunned. Then after 2 or 3 seconds, he asked, "Summoned beast? You're a summoner?" "Yes." Lin Xiao nodded. "Are you really a summoner? Are you Lin Xiao?" The middle-aged man exclaimed excitedly. "Lin Xiao? Am I that famous? How does every random passerby know my name?" "No, that's not right. If you're Lin Xiao, didn't you just get into Imperial Capital University not long ago? How do you have the ability to kill the war demon?" He was bewildered. Is this what a super genius is like? Lin Xiao understood how he knew his name. It was a bit of luck. Saying this, Lin Xiao glanced at the sky and said, "It's getting late. We should get going soon." "All right." The middle-aged man nodded vigorously, then suddenly turned back after starting to leave. "There's something I want to tell you. We came back to support from the second front, but while there, we noticed a strange phenomenon. Some abyss monsters, when encountering humans, didn't immediately slaughter them. Instead, they captured them and then took them somewhere unknown." Lin Xiao raised an eyebrow. Captured? Abyss monsters were inherently brutal. It was rare for them to capture humans. "Yes, captured. I don't know the specific reason, but it looks like you're heading further in, so I specifically mentioned it to you. the middle-aged man said. Lin Xiao nodded. Okay, I understand. I'll keep an eye out. When things are abnormal, there must be mischief. Are the abyss monsters planning some kind of sacrifice? If it's a sacrifice, then it's very likely that abyssal demons are behind it. Chapter 140. The middle-aged man led his people away, and Lin Xiao also returned the scepter of curse to the Goblin King's treasury. Even if this weapon isn't equipped, carrying it still triggers its effects. Only the king's treasury can suppress the effects of the scepter of curse, as equipment effects are disabled within the treasury, only providing attributes to the Goblin King. Lin Xiao took out a map and began planning his next route. Doll, where were you guys before? The snow girl doll extended a finger, from which cold air emanated, pointing to the east side of the map. She said in a clear voice, "Over here. The abyss dungeon here has been cleared, but we haven't gone to any places marked yellow or higher." She clearly remembered Lin Xiao's instructions, so she naturally wouldn't take that risk that fast. Hearing how quickly the snow girl doll had advanced, Lin Xiao was a little surprised. He then asked, "What about Spider Prince?" The snow girl doll saw the war demon trying to escape, so she added another layer of ice to him before answering Lin Xiao's question. "He's clearing scattered abyss monsters and rescuing those who are trapped." Lin Xiao nodded. At this moment, a notification sound rang out. "Congratulations! Your level has increased to 32. Another level up." Gaining 2 levels in a single day was unimaginable before. Perhaps it's only possible here. "Lin Xiao, are you going to keep moving forward?" Jiang Ningxue suddenly asked. Lin Xiao glanced at the frozen war demon. There were bound to be more abyss monsters like this ahead, and the danger level would be higher. "Let's do what we can. We'll clear the nearby abyss dungeons first." He was somewhat concerned about the middle-aged man's mention of abyss monsters capturing humans, but with his current strength, he probably couldn't help much. According to the other party's description, that place should be on the second front line, an area he couldn't venture into, so he could only leave it to the big shots there. Presumably, they should have also noticed this unusual activity. Hearing Lin Xiao's plan, Jiang Ningxue also nodded in agreement. "I plan to do the same. As long as all the abyss dungeons in this city are cleared, the people in the city will face much less danger," Jiang Ningxue said. Lin Xiao rolled his eyes at her and said, "It's not that easy. There's a level 60 abyss dungeon here. With our current strength, we can't do it unless someone from the front lines returns." Black Mark. With Lin Xiao's current strength, he couldn't conquer it. Even if he rolled a 6 on the dice and summoned Death Knight and others, they might not be able to agree. "Let's rest first, then we'll go check other places." He had entered this battlefield directly from the Dungeon King's ruins and hadn't rested yet. Okay. The two lay on a relatively intact ruin, leaning against each other, gazing up at the starry sky. There weren't many stars in the sky. They were sparse. Perhaps it was due to the smoke of war, obscuring many of them. Jiang Ningxue leaned closer, nestling under Lin Xiao's arm, and Lin Xiao instinctively put his arm around her. "Cold?" Jiang Ningxue shook her head. "No, it's quite warm, just like when we first met." "Ah." Lin Xiao's face was a little awkward. After a moment, he asked, "Didn't you say we wouldn't mention that?" Jiang Ningxue pouted in dissatisfaction, glaring at Lin Xiao. "You can't mention it, but I can." Lin Xiao shrugged, indicating that whatever she said was reasonable. Although it was a small accident, looking back now, it actually feels pretty good. Lin Xiao recalled old memories. The day he first met Jiang Ningxue. It was a day of heavy snow, and the two of them were completely honest with each other. Ouch! Lin Xiao felt a pain in his waist, interrupting his pleasant memory. Jiang Ningxue, her face flushed, pinched the flesh on Lin Xiao's waist and feigned anger. "You're asking to die. I told you not to say it." Lin Xiao chuckled. All right, I won't say it." However, seeing Lin Xiao's expression, Jiang Ningxue knew he was definitely thinking about the past. The night passed without a word until Lin Xiao received a kill notification the next day. Successfully killed War Demon. Experience plus 1.05 million. Obtained Roar of battle intent *3. War gauntlets. Weapon. Abyss treasure chest *2. War treasure chest *2. Roar of battle intent. After use, strength increases by 10%. All resistances increase by 20%. 1.05 million experience points. Lin Xiao's eyes widened. His experience bar was almost full again. A level 50 Abyss boss actually gives so much experience? Oh my goodness. This is too terrifying.
Boom!
The ice block collapsed with a roar, and the sound woke the sleeping Jiang Ningxue. She immediately entered combat readiness and quickly asked, "What happened?" "Nothing. The war demon just died," Lin Xiao said calmly. "Died?" Jiang Ningxue was shocked, then noticed her own experience bar and found that she had leveled up once. No, to be precise, 1.5 levels. So much experience. Although the two hadn't formed a team, she had contributed a lot to the battle against the war demon, so she naturally gained experience. "He really died. How did you do it? Did you have your snow girl doll freeze him to death?" The massive experience shocked her, but what shocked her even more was the death of the war demon. Jiang Ningxue knew that the war demon wasn't dead, just frozen by the snow girl doll. She thought this was Lin Xiao's temporary measure, waiting for stronger people to return from above to kill him. But she never expected that after sleeping, she would wake up the next day to hear that the war demon was dead. Lin Xiao rolled his eyes at her and said, "What are you thinking? Curse killed him. How could an abyss boss of that level be frozen to death? A curse? Yes, a curse that would kill him the next day." Jiang Ningxue was even more shocked, her eyes wide. A curse that kills the next day? Is there such a powerful curse? You haven't even seen more powerful curses. Let's go. It was too troublesome to explain, so Lin Xiao didn't elaborate much. At this moment, a dragon's roar echoed in the sky. Looking into the distance, Lin Xiao saw a flying dragon rapidly approaching. Dragon? Lin Xiao frowned and immediately entered combat readiness. But he quickly thought of someone. Qin Chuan, the Dragon Knight class. Qin Chuan, standing on the flying dragon, also noticed Lin Xiao below and immediately descended. "You've come out of the dungeon?" Lin Xiao nodded. "How's the situation at the front?" "It's stabilized, but it's still a bit difficult to completely drive them out. I took this opportunity to come back and clear the high-level abyss monsters here. I heard another war demon ran back from the front. He's extremely battle-hungry and powerful, reportedly having wiped out several professional teams." Qin Chuan said this was the reason for his return.
"The demon?"
"You came back too late," Jiang Ningxue said. "Came back too late?" Qin Chuan's expression immediately turned solemn. "Could it be that he has already left this city?" "No, he's already dead." "Huh. Dead." Chapter 141. The war demon is dead. If he remembered correctly, no professionals in this city could kill the war demon. That's not right. The forces stationed here could still contend with the war demon, but if they all made a move, there would be no remaining strength to defend against the abyss monster attacks. Could it be that he returned too late, causing the war demon to invade the stadium and slaughter a large number of humans? And they were forced to fight it? This possibility is very high. How is the stadium? Did the war demon break in? How are Company Commander Shi and the others doing? Qin Chuan quickly asked. Jiang Ningxue scratched her face and shook her head. "I'm not sure. I also came back from the front. My team was scattered when I encountered the war demon on the way back. However, Lin Xiao has already killed the war demon. As long as no stronger abyss boss appears, there shouldn't be too much danger." Qin Chuan nodded, then realized he seemed to have heard something quite outrageous. Lin Xiao killed the war demon? He looked at Lin Xiao in shock, his eyes filled with disbelief. Is this junior brother of his so powerful? He could actually kill a level 50 abyss boss. You're kidding, right? How could Lin Xiao possibly? Jiang Ningxue knew he wouldn't believe it, so she picked up a piece of ice and said, "The war demon's corpse is still here." Qin Chuan glanced at it and found that the frozen piece of meat was indeed part of the war demon's body. A storm surged in his heart. The war demon is really dead. really killed by Lin Xiao? Isn't this a bit too outrageous? Isn't he only around level 25? How could this be? Seeing Qin Chuan look at him, Lin Xiao explained, "It was just a bit of luck and some tricks. In a head-on battle, I wouldn't be confident in killing him." The war demon was indeed terrifying. With one powerful punch, one of his summoned beasts would probably die. If it weren't for the power of the dice, it would have been truly difficult to deal with. Can be said that the lucky spirit made a great contribution in this battle. Luck, tricks. Qin Chuan's expression became a bit strange as he looked at Lin Xiao. If everyone had luck and tricks like yours, then completely clearing out the abyss wouldn't be a problem. Lin Xiao gave an awkward smile, then brought up what the middle-aged man had mentioned. Qin Chuan nodded and said, "The higher-ups have already noticed this situation and have sent people to investigate. Such a large-scale bush project suddenly appearing in the west must have been premeditated. Since the war demon has been eliminated, I should head back. Leaving this to you shouldn't be a problem, right?" Qin Chuan asked. "Yes, there is," Lin Xiao said very decisively. "Qin Chuan, what's the problem? Are there still powerful abyss monsters? With such a powerful combatant back, why shouldn't I make him contribute a bit?" Subsequently, Lin Xiao briefly explained the situation to Qin Chuan. "You mean you destroyed most of the abyss dungeons in this city?" "Yes." "You alone? In one day?" "Yes, oh, and my summoned beasts." Qin Chuan fell silent. He vaguely understood why the country was so vigorously training summoners. As long as they could be nurtured, their powerful ability to split forces and combat strength were indeed stronger than many other professions. "Then leave the black-marked dungeon to me." Since he was already here, there was no need to make a wasted trip. "Senior Brother Qin has awakened? Do you need help?" "That's a level 60 abyss dungeon," Lin Xiao asked. "I'm still a bit short of awakening, but I'm confident. No help is needed." Qin Chuan shook his head. Although Lin Xiao's level had reached 32, he felt it was still too low. If he went into such a dangerous dungeon, Qin Chuan was afraid he wouldn't be able to protect him well. After all, Lin Xiao was a rare genius summoner, and it would be a great pity if he died in the dungeon. Seeing Qin Chuan's confident demeanor, Lin Xiao sighed inwardly. To dare enter a level 60 abyss dungeon without awakening, he must have great confidence in his own strength. He now recalled that during the reform of the Dragon Flame Abyss Squad, everyone's positions changed, and no one received the title of captain. He and Bai Yixue didn't count. Only Qin Chuan. This showed his formidable strength. Amidst his astonishment, Lin Xiao glanced at Qin Chuan's dragon, and his eyes almost popped out. Helldrake. Level 58. Quality, epic. Ew. Damn, an epic quality dragon. No wonder he's so confident. He couldn't help but remember a phrase Wuxiang loved to say. "Is it amazing to have a dragon? It really is amazing. Moreover, dragons are one of the creatures at the top of the food chain. How about this, you take my summoned beast with you? She's a support-type summoned beast, and she can at least help you." Lin Xiao called out the lucky spirit, telling her to go with Qin Chuan. Qin Chuan glanced at the lucky spirit and nodded. "All right, no problem. With more support abilities, his own battles would be much easier. Moreover, if a summoned beast dies, it will revive with the summoner, so he wouldn't feel too bad even if it died." After hearing that he was willing to take the lucky spirit, Lin Xiao gave the lucky spirit a warning. "When you go, don't just throw dice randomly. Only throw the dice faces I told you to program. Understood?" He was afraid that without his restraint, the lucky spirit would go with Qin Chuan and not only fail to help but also cause him trouble. The lucky spirit quickly nodded. "Don't worry, I won't." Soon, Qin Chuan took the lucky spirit to that level 60 abyss dungeon. The main reason for sending the lucky spirit was to gain some experience. If she can't help in a fight, can't she at least provide support? As the saying goes, ironclad support, flowing sari. A level 60 abyss dungeon should provide a lot of experience. He'll probably level up 1 or 2 times again. Just thinking about it felt great. After Qin Chuan left, Lin Xiao had the slime-cast eye of supervision again to begin the rescue. Although there was no lucky spirit for assistance, Jiang Ningxue was here, and she was a healer, a rare profession after all. Whoosh! A gust of wind blew from afar, followed by thunder and an earthquake. What a commotion! Jiang Ningxue frowned. She thought it was caused by some abyss monster, but then realized it was a professional and one she knew. Oh? Lin Xiao, you found Jiang Ningxue? Good thing she's all right. Wuxiang saw Lin Xiao and greeted him warmly. This was the father who was willing to lend him an epic grade set. I see you're here to clear the abyss dungeon, ha ha ha. You came for nothing. I've already taken care of it. The power of an epic grade set is truly something else. It feels great. Chapter 142. The front line. The situation here was much more brutal than in the rear. Corpses of abyss monsters were buried on the spot wherever they were found, and those that could be identified as professionals were taken back to the medical camp for verification. It has stabilized, but the situation in the rear is not ideal. It is said that many cities have seen abyss monsters above level 50. In Shanyuan City, there even appeared a war demon. This is a monster that lives for slaughter. Western military chief Qin Shiran looked ahead with a grave expression. That place, once prosperous, had now turned into ruins and rubble, becoming a nesting ground for abyss monsters. I have already sent people from the academy to clear it out, so there shouldn't be any major problems. Qin Chuan should have arrived in Shanyuan City by now. It's not too late. Song Mingzhang, standing to the side, said. He was the representative sent by Imperial Capital University to provide support. Besides him, Yao Tianyi had also come along, as well as instructors and students from various departments. Just then, a call came through from Qin Chuan. After Yao Tianyi answered, a hint of surprise appeared on his face. You have already dealt with that war demon? So fast? However, your speed is much faster than I expected. Teacher, it wasn't me, it was Lin Xiao. By the time I arrived, he had already killed the war demon. At the same time, a level 60 abyss dungeon appeared here. I plan to shatter the abyss pillar before returning, which might take some more time, so I'm telling you in advance, Qin Chuan said. Yao Tianyi, who had just taken a gulp of wine, almost choked to death. His throat burned, and tears even streamed out. Ignoring all that, he hurriedly asked, What did you say? Lin Xiao killed the war demon. A summoner in his 20s able to kill a level 50 abyss boss? And it's a war demon? This must be a joke. Upon hearing this, both Qin Shiran and Song Mingzhang showed expressions of astonishment. They knew the strength of the war demon very well, especially at the boss level. Even teams of the same level found it hard to contend with. Is the Lin Xiao that Qin Chuan mentioned the summoner favored by the military god? Qin Shiran asked Song Mingzhang, who was standing nearby. Although he hadn't met Lin Xiao, he had heard a little about his deeds. After all, he was a young man favored by the military god. It was just unexpected that this summoner named Lin Xiao was so fierce, actually capable of killing a war demon. Song Mingzhang was also full of confusion. He had interacted with Lin Xiao and had a certain understanding of his level. It was impossible for him to reach level 50 so quickly. The name is the same, but I'm not sure if it's the same person. In my impression, he shouldn't have the ability to kill a war demon. Song Mingzhang looked at Yao Tianyi, signaling him to ask for clarification. Yao Tianyi naturally understood and quickly asked, The Lin Xiao you are talking about, is his profession a summoner? Qin Chuan paused, knowing that his teacher didn't believe Lin Xiao could kill the war demon. Yes, he is your student and also my junior. It really was him. The three of them were shocked, and then they heard Qin Chuan say, Actually, I am also very surprised. After all, Lin Xiao is only level 32. To kill a war demon. How much? He is level 32. Yao Tianyi lost his composure again. He didn't even notice that some wine had leaked out of the wine gourd in his hand. He used to come to me every day to discuss summoner, and his level was just over 20. Now he is already level 32. Is he riding a rocket? Yes, perhaps it is because he is a summoner. His summoned beasts cleared out almost all the abyss monsters in Shanyuan City. Hiss! Yao Tianyi couldn't help but gasp. Is his spirit that powerful? Able to control summoned beasts from such a long distance? How did he kill the war demon? Song Mingzhong was shocked by the rapid increase in Lin Xiao's level, but was more concerned about the death of the war demon. He said he relied on a bit of luck and some methods. However, I saw ice cubes at the scene. It should be the snow girl doll that… You say curse? Oh, so that's how it is. The lucky spirit, who had accompanied Qin Chuan to the dungeon, heard their conversation and explained how Lin Xiao killed the war demon. Qin Chuan repeated it. Hearing how Lin Xiao killed the war demon, the three of them were shocked again. Although it relied on a curse, how he managed to hold out until the curse took effect was another matter entirely. Very good young man. Just as the military god said, he is a summoner with potential. Qin Shiran's eyes were filled with admiration. Yes, he was able to escape from an abyssal demon several times. I knew he wasn't simple. Ha ha ha. Song Mingzhong laughed loudly. How could he not be happy that Lin Xiao had such a combat record? After chatting a few more simple words about Lin Xiao, Song Mingzhong returned to the main topic. Why did the Abyss dungeon in the west get out of control to such an extent, triggering such a large-scale monster siege? Song Mingzhong looked at the Western military chief. The battle situation had happened too suddenly, and after they came to support, they didn't have much time to understand the situation. Now that they finally had some time, they naturally wanted to ask clearly. Qin Shiran gazed into the distance with deep eyes, staring at the city that was once prosperous but now infested with monsters and had become a lair. At first, I thought it was just a simple loss of control. After all, it's not uncommon for an abyss to suddenly appear in a dungeon, and there are many situations where we can't deal with it in time, so I didn't take it too much to heart. Later, the situation became wrong. The speed of the dungeon's abyssalization was too fast, like a virus infection, and it simply couldn't be stopped. Subsequently, cities were breached, and a large number of wild dungeons appeared in the cities, then became abyssalized, and things became uncontrollable. Qin Shiran sighed. Was he negligent? Yes, indeed. But the main thing was the viral spread of abyssalization, which was something that had never happened before. Then have you conducted an investigation? Song Mingzhong asked. There is a result. It is a hidden dungeon. A hidden dungeon? Song Mingzhong frowned. Yao Tianyi, while drinking wine, couldn't help but glance at Qin Shiran. A single hidden dungeon causing such a state. This hidden dungeon must not be simple. If it were just an ordinary hidden dungeon, it wouldn't cause such a great impact. But according to our investigation, this hidden dungeon belongs to one of the ancient dungeons. An ancient hidden dungeon? Song Mingzhong was somewhat surprised. The so-called ancient dungeons were the dungeons that appeared when the sanctuary first descended. Many of these dungeons have already closed or disappeared inexplicably. Ancient dungeons vary in strength, and the most troublesome thing among them is their disorderliness. No one knows what will happen in the dungeon, and it cannot be understood with normal behavioral logic. Hidden dungeons are even more dangerous, almost a death trap. Yao Tianyi put away his wine gourd and also listened carefully. Yes, it is an ancient hidden dungeon, and according to existing data, this ancient hidden dungeon is related to an evil god. Chapter 143, Evil God. Song Mingzhong and Yao Tianyi both became agitated. Qin Shiran didn't continue, letting them digest the information first. After a brief shock, Song Mingzhong asked, "Are you sure? Is this really an evil god dungeon? Isn't the evil god just a legend?" Yao Tianyi took over, saying, "It is a legend. The evil god is a non-existent deity. Nan Wanxing told me this himself."
A non-existent deity?
Song Mingzhong heard something beyond his understanding. Then what about the evil dragon? Isn't he the evil god's mount? Qin Shiran was also very curious and looked at Yao Tianyi. He didn't know much more about the evil god than the other man. Among all the deities, the one most clearly understood was the god of war, Nan Wanxing. As his close friend, it wasn't strange for Yao Tianyi to have heard some things from him. Yao Tianyi took a sip of wine, clearing his throat, and said, "That dragon proclaimed himself. He was originally just a very ordinary evil dragon from the abyss. The reason he became so strong is because he entered a special dungeon. That special dungeon contained the remnants of the evil god's power, and after absorbing it, he became this powerful. Song Mingzhong suddenly understood. This was news he had never known. Then what about the evil god? Didn't you say this deity doesn't exist? He asked. Because this fellow who called himself the evil god failed to ascend to godhood, and his power dissipated. Of course, some of his power remained, creating the mischievous evil dragon from before. So, the evil dragon calling himself the evil god's mount is somewhat justifiable. Yao Tianyi said. Qin Shiran stroked his chin, pondering for a moment. So, that ancient hidden dungeon contains the remnants of the evil god's power, and the abyssal demons want to seize that power to create another evil dragon? Song Mingzhong's face darkened. If that were true, it would be a huge disaster. Qin Shiran continued. If they really want to seize the evil god's remaining power, the dungeon entrance would be heavily guarded. But there aren't many abyss monsters gathered there, and I haven't even seen a single abyssal demon. Hearing this, both men couldn't help but frown. Could it not be the evil god? If not, that would be for the best. Song Mingzhong suddenly thought of something. The West is facing such a huge crisis this time, and 2 archdukes of demons have appeared from the abyss, pushing straight to our border, but they haven't launched an attack. It's as if they're deliberately stalling the god of war. If it truly is the evil god's remaining power, the archdukes of demons couldn't possibly not covet it. But this time they didn't come personally. Instead, they chose to pressure our border. Don't you find this strange? Qin Shiran nodded. Indeed. Yao Tianyi pondered for a moment, then said, assuming the evil god's power is real, could the archdukes of demons deliberately stalling the god of war and others be to buy time for the abyssal demons in the West? To use the evil god's remaining power to create another archduke of demons. Qin Shiran agreed. It's possible, but the abyss operates on the law of the jungle. Would they really allow a new archduke of demons to emerge? The 3 archdukes of hell divide the abyss. If a new archduke of demons appeared, they would certainly not agree. But now their intentions seem to be in agreement. Song Mingzhong and the other couldn't answer this question. Qin Shiran gazed into the distance, his expression extremely solemn. After a moment he said, but no matter what, I still have to push back. Not only to reclaim the lost land, but more importantly, the ancient hidden dungeon is there. Regardless of what these archdukes of demons intend, they cannot take anything from our land. At this moment, a scout ran over and quickly said, Military chief, we discovered a group of abyss monsters capturing humans.
Abyss monsters, capturing humans.
Not directly slaughtering them. The 3 frowned simultaneously. This abnormal behavior indicated that nothing was simple. Qin Shiran, elaborate. Yes. The scout nodded and quickly organized his words. Captain Chen's team was scattered, and they accidentally discovered it while searching for teammates. Many abyss monsters were transporting humans, heading somewhere unknown. Since he lacked sufficient combat power alone, he immediately returned to report. Subsequently, Staff Officer Yang quickly dispatched a large number of personnel to investigate. It was ultimately discovered that this situation was not only happening in one place. Similar situations appeared in other cities in the West. Subsequently, Staff Officer Yang deduced the abyss monsters' routes and identified several possible destinations. Saying this, the scout handed over the map. Qin Shiran opened the map. 3 routes were drawn in red, all pointing without exception to that ancient hidden dungeon. That dungeon really has a problem. Qin Shiran handed the map to Song Mingzhong. Song Mingzhong glanced at it and immediately made a judgment. They're capturing so many humans, most likely for sacrifice to activate something, or to offer them to the evil god. Then the matter is simple. Yao Tianyi hung up his wine gourd and said, just kill all these damned beasts clean when you see them. By the way, do you know how many people these beasts have captured? The scout's face immediately turned grim. He said, preliminary estimates put it at over 1 million. Over 1 million. The faces of the 3 immediately darkened. These beasts, if captured, they likely wouldn't survive. Order. Instruct personnel in all cities to pay attention to the actions of abyss monsters and also to the safety of the strongholds. Since they are capturing sacrifices, they might attack the strongholds. Be extremely careful. Yes. Shanyuan City. Lin Xiao met Wuxiang again. At this moment, they both received a message. Abyss monsters are capturing humans for sacrifice? Lin Xiao frowned. These abyss monsters only kill. They would do something like this? Impossible, right? Wuxiang expressed doubt. But thinking about the situation at the mall, it seemed they really did have a tendency to capture people. Lin Xiao recalled the attack on the stronghold and the current information alert. How is the transfer of people from the stadium progressing? Lin Xiao quickly asked. The transfer is almost complete. It will be fully finished in another 3 hours. Then where are they being transferred to? Nansha City. Wuxiang immediately understood what Lin Xiao was worried about and explained. Actually, there's no need to worry about the situation there. Nansha City is a very small city, located at the very rear, and abyss monsters rarely appear there. What about wild dungeons? Lin Xiao asked. Wild dungeons appear randomly, right? If a wild dungeon appears and the dungeon abyssalizes, can the people there hold it off? Wuxiang. This. He really didn't know. However, the city attribute is still active, so no wild dungeons will appear within the city. As for outside the city, beep beep beep. At this moment, the phone emitted a piercing ring. Wuxiang quickly looked at his phone, seeing the message from that accursed fellow who deducted 20% of his resources. Urgent reinforcement for Nansha City. Chapter 144. Urgent reinforcements to Nansha City? Seeing this message, Wuxiang couldn't keep it together. He had just finished speaking when a crisis occurred. The slap in the face came way too quickly. Lin Xiao naturally saw the message as well, and remarked to himself, Jinx! Wuxiang! Let's head back to the stadium. We can go directly to Nansha City through the teleportation array there. Since danger has appeared, the transfer should be temporarily suspended. Lin Xiao nodded. Having a teleportation array was naturally much more convenient and could save a lot of time. Returning to the stadium stronghold, they could see that the relocation work had already restarted. Lin Xiao, you are truly amazing. To have cleared so many abyss dungeons is simply unbelievable. Seeing Lin Xiao return, Shi Guangyao immediately came out to greet him, his face full of smiles. Through monitoring, he found that most of the abyss dungeons in Shanyuan City had been repelled, and the number of abyss monsters was dwindling. Could be said that Shanyuan City was now a relatively safe city. Lin Xiao glanced around and noticed quite a few unfamiliar faces. Have the reinforcements from above arrived? They have, Shi Guangyao nodded. And I have already sent a portion of them to support Nansha City. Since reinforcements had arrived, the safety of this city could at least be guaranteed. We are preparing to support Nansha City. Please, Company Commander Shi, activate the teleportation array, Lin Xiao said. No problem. The situation here has basically stabilized, and Nansha City needs you more. I will have someone arrange it immediately. Shi Guangyao left to personally prepare the teleportation array for Lin Xiao and his group to head to Nansha City. While waiting, the personnel in charge of supplies handed Lin Xiao, Jiang Ningxue, and Wuxiang food to replenish their energy. Wuxiang chewed on some bread and chatted idly. While searching for survivors, I saw a knight riding a spectral warhorse. That's your summoned beast, right? Amen. That's impressive, to be able to operate it from such a long distance. Usually, when a summoner reaches your level, their operational radius is only about a quarter of a city. Wuxiang was impressed from the bottom of his heart. I'm not actively operating it. I just told him to eliminate any abyss monsters he encounters. That's still a form of operation. Wuxiang took a big gulp of milk and continued to ask, You're about to head to Nansha City? Aren't you going to recall your summoned beast? Lin Xiao bit into a sausage and said indifferently, No need. I can just summon it again when I need to. Leaving it here allows it to clear out the scattered abyss monsters, as well as the ones outside the city. Now it was Wuxiang's turn to be stunned. He looked at Lin Xiao in surprise, and after 2 or 3 seconds, said, "Wait, no, your summoned beast can be operated from that far away? If it's forcibly recalled? I heard from that guy who likes to show off because he has a dragon. It will cause significant damage to one's spirit." "It won't." "It won't? Is it because you're a special summoner, capable of operating regardless of distance? Damn, that's awesome. That's basically a god-tier worker. The summoned beast kills enemies outside while you lie at home and collect experience." Jiang Ningxue, who was eating an egg, couldn't help but glance at him, then said, "You are simply a genius." Lin Xiao didn't have much of a reaction. He was currently doing the same thing, letting his summoned beast kill abyss monsters to gain experience. However, this method was limited to abyss dungeons, as it wouldn't work in regular dungeons where the summoner themselves must be present. Popping the last bite of bread into his mouth, Lin Xiao said indifferently, "It can indeed be done this way, though a summoner's control range isn't infinite. No wonder you level up so fast." Wu Xiang was a bit envious, but still asked out of concern, "Are you really sure you don't need to recall the summoned beast?" "No need. My spirit is sufficient." Lin Xiao glanced at his stats. Spirit, 10,001. Without realizing it, his spirit had already reached 10,000. He had never tested the maximum distance 10,000 spirit allowed him to control a summoned beast, but at this level, even if he left the Death Knight and the others here, there would be no problem at all once he reached Nansha City. A moment later, Shi Guangyao walked over, his expression not looking very good. Noticing Shi Guangyao's expression, Wu Xiang had an ominous premonition and whispered, "Looking at his face, it wouldn't be that we can't teleport, would it?" After Shi Guangyao arrived, he stated the situation directly. "Apologies everyone. The teleportation array may be unusable." Jiang Ningxue glanced at Wu Xiang. "Jinx. Wu Xiang, is that my fault?" Lin Xiao glanced at Wu Xiang speechlessly. It was truly a case of the good things not coming true, but the bad ones always do. He then asked, "What happened?" "The teleportation has been interfered with, making it impossible to pinpoint Nansha City, but communication can still proceed as normal. Their goal is likely to cut off our teleportation so we cannot provide timely support, allowing them to capture Nansha City as quickly as possible. Nansha City doesn't have many troops, and there are many wounded. If it is captured, the consequences will be unimaginable. Fortunately, after the military chief issued the order, I sent a batch of soldiers to provide support in advance, so they should be able to hold out for a while." Shi Guangyao quickly explained the situation in Nansha City. Lin Xiao frowned. The abyss monsters are starting to use their brains too. To actually cut off the teleportation array, it was likely the work of an abyssal demon behind the scenes. "How long can Nansha City hold out?" Lin Xiao asked. Since teleportation wouldn't work, he would just walk over. Based on the current situation, they can only hold out for half a day. If more abyss monsters appear, this time will become even shorter. The silver lining in this misfortune was that communication was still functional, so they could know the situation over there. "We'll set off now. This place shouldn't be too far from Nansha City, right?" "It's not too far, an hour's drive. I've already arranged for another reinforcement unit to head over. You can depart with the vehicles," Shi Guangyao said. Lin Xiao shook his head. "No, my summoned beast is faster. Also, Company Commander Shi, keep the reinforcements here for now." "Keep them here?" Shi Guangyao was puzzled. The only city closest to Nansha City is Shanyuan City. If we don't go to support, it'll be too late by the time reinforcements arrive from other cities. Shanyuan City doesn't have many troops to begin with. If you send them out as reinforcements, it will be dangerous if more abyss monsters appear. The Death Knight can't kill that many. Lin Xiao muttered to himself, then continued, "We'll go first. Once the subsequent reinforcements arrive, then you can send troops to support Nansha City. Oh, and one more thing. Someone has already gone in to clear the level 60 dungeon in the city. Once he comes out, he can also be sent to support Nansha City." "Someone went to clear that dungeon?" Shi Guangyao was shocked. That dungeon was the greatest threat to Shanyuan City. He had wanted to take people to clear it, but that would mean abandoning the defense, so he could only occasionally clear out the abyss monsters that ran out of the dungeon. Who went? Shi Guangyao asked. Because the reinforcement teams were all here, no one had gone to clear that level 60 dungeon. Lin Xiao, Qin Chuan. He arrived not long ago, so I entrusted it to him. By himself. No, with my summoned beast. Shi Guangyao. That's still just one person. You Dragon Flame Abyss squad members are truly remarkable. Every one of you is excellent. To be able to shoulder such heavy responsibilities at such a young age. I'll leave it to you to hold the line at Nansha City.